Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another action movie night. Tonight, I will be reviewing Inglourious Basterds, released in 2009. Written and directed by Quentin Tarantino, starring Brad Pitt, Melanie Laurent, Christoph Waltz, Eli Roth, Michael Fassbender, Diane Kruger, Daniel Bruhl, Till Schweiger, and B.J. Novak. Now, when this film came out, I had already been a pretty big fan of Tarantino's work. I had seen his previous films, and films like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and I just loved his work, even when he was just a writer on a film like True Romance. The film was still great just because of his writing and just because of his vision, even though that film did not use his vision because it was directed by Tony Scott. And the same thing with From Dusk Till Dawn. Written by Tarantino and directed by Robert Rodriguez. It still has that feel of Tarantino in there. But I've been a fan of Tarantino ever since, I first saw his first film, which was Reservoir Dogs. And with this film, this, war film set in World War II, Brad Pitt playing the leader of this group of the title characters of the Bastards. Lieutenant Aldo Raine, I loved his performance. He just put so much fun into this role. It's not your typical war film. And the group around Brad Pitt's character, with Eli Roth's character, Michael Fassbender's character, Till Schweiger's character, and B.J. Novak's character. They are such interesting characters. It's not just Brad Pitt and he's the standout. He's the only one you think of when you think of this group. You have memorable moments for every single one of these characters in this, thanks to Quentin Tarantino's very energetic and competent writing and directing on this film. So, our heroes are very interesting, especially, ones like, Eli Roth's character is this vicious guy that likes to use the bat and likes to bash in Nazis' heads in. Very interesting and cool character in that respect. But then you also have Till Schweiger's character of Sergeant Hugo Stiglitz. And he is a former German soldier who is part of Brad Pitt, Aldo Ray's group. And that is just a cool bit of irony for that character to have him going against the Germans and killing so many of these Nazi guys when he was a German soldier to start out. And the characters are just so well done and so interesting. Like I said, it's not your typical World War II movie. It very much has that Tarantino feel to it. It does not feel like some 60s or 70s war film that is politically correct. But the villain of this film, to me, was one of the biggest standouts, and that was Christoph Waltz as Hans Landa. I mean, this character, from his opening sequence, when he torments this poor guy for what seems like hours. But it was only like 15 to 20 minutes, the scene was. But it's just so, has you just on the edge of your seat. You know something bad is going to happen to this poor guy. And, you know, it's just the performance that Waltz does in this, as this character. Not just that scene, but later on. He's just so good in this film. As is Diane Kruger as Bridget von Hammerschmark. Now, she is beautiful. I mean, I have always thought that Diane Kruger is just absolutely beautiful. And I loved her in National Treasure. And wasn't a big fan of her in Troy because of the way her character was written. But she was still gorgeous in that, even though her character wasn't that great. But she is so good as Bridget in here. And the moment in that one scene when, and if you've not seen the film, please go see it and then come back to my review, please. I don't want to spoil anything with this. But when it comes to that moment when she is, it's almost like that opening moment. She is in the room with Hans Landa and they're talking, and it's getting tenser and tenser. And finally, boom, he jumps on her and begins to strangle her and ends up killing her. And that was such a shock to you. You know, you knew tensions were rising, but you did not expect Tarantino to go there. And the weird thing about that was the close-up shots of Diane Kruger being strangled wasn't Christoph Waltz's hands. That was Tarantino's hands himself, choking her in that scene. And she told him to really choke her so that she could make it look like, you know, she's really choking in that sequence. So, I mean, that is commitment to your role in there. But about the only negative that I will give this film, because, I mean, I love Brad Pitt and his group. I love the performance of Hans Landa by Christoph Waltz. I love Diane Kruger, like I said. That ending where they end up killing Hitler and everything. And I know this is the alternate history thing, but it just kind of takes you out of the story, because even though it is this over-the-top fun story that he's doing, you're never expecting them to succeed in killing Hitler at the end of this thing. I mean, because, you know, historically, we know that didn't happen. But that is the only negative that I will give to this film, is that I did not like the way that Tarantino did that ending. Doing that alternate reality kind of thing where, hey, Hitler was assassinated, you know. But it's a small negative to it. So my final review of Inglourious Basterds from 2009, I am going to give this film a 9.7 out of 10. I swear, if he had not went to the extreme of killing Hitler at the end of this, I would probably have given this film a 10 out of 10. But what do you guys think of Inglourious Basterds? Do you agree with my review? do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. As a Dark Knight fan, you have access to an area right now as a Plus member to request a movie, TV show, or a ranking video of your choosing for me to do on the channel. And when I do it, it will go up on the Plus area for all Plus members to view prior to it going live on the channel. So, if you want to get interactive, now is a good time.
Well, that's it for another action movie night. If you missed last week's action movie night, check out the link above to get caught up on that one. And if you've missed any other videos, check out this down here where you can watch a playlist of any of our action movie nights that you have missed.